Hi, I'm Hermie Smith, the Director of City Team in the Neighborhood, and got some special guests here.
Hi, I'm Malia. I'm the Director of Lasting Solutions.
And I'm Raul Quinones. Work for City Team, and my job is to distribution.
Yeah, so Raul, you've been with City Team for a long time, Malia. You've done ministry for many, many, many years, and we're going to be talking today about just the importance of doing it with rather than for the community. And it is really, really important to start to recruit volunteers from the very people we serve. In fact, it's ideal if you start this at the pantry, but for this context, with follow-up captains going through this training, you're going to operate primarily at the pop-up setting. So, recruiting volunteers, I think ideally you want to have on your team running these pop-ups about 50% from your church and 50% from the community. And so you guys have done that, many, many times. So we want to share some tips with you, and part of the assignment for this section is to also read Luke 10, and where Jesus sent out the 72 and tell them to not take anything, and then also to look for those persons of peace.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about, obviously we are taking stuff, but we need help from the community. Why is it important to get buy-in and get help from the community volunteers?
Well, one of the things that I notice, being in the pop-ups and the pantries and all that sometimes, they see that we need help, and they are willing to come and help, and that's kind of like the person of peace that is willing to help, willing to take the next step because they know the community already. They know what the needs are, so that's how you kind of identify those kind of people that want to be part of the team, and most of our pop-ups, that's why we have all these leaders or these follow-up captains, because they came from that, they're ones that started like that, saying, do you need help with this? Do you need bringing up the racks? Do you need this? Do you need that? So I think that's one of the tips that I can suggest that we can identify,
So when they offer to help, say yes.
Yes, all the time. Yeah. All the time, please.
Say yes. Even if you can do it better,
yes.
Say yes.
Yes, all the time. Even
Very
if
good.
You can do it
Very
better.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, just that heart of compassion, that heart of wanting to serve, that circle of dignity, right? That both sides coming together and supporting one another. A true community development is really building up from within the community, not coming into the community and doing the work for them, but doing it with them. And really looking, as Raul was saying, looking for those persons of peace and those saying yes to those that step forward to want to volunteer. Because just like when the 72 were sent out, they continue to multiply and to go on. And it's really important to build up from within the community. So it has lasting change.
Yeah. And what you've seen in many of these practical examples of, other follow-up captains, they all were pantry guests first, pop-up guests, and that's when they became volunteers. And truly, they make the best follow-up captains. They make the best evangelists, because transformation is contagious.
Yes.
Sometimes we from City Team can go in, or you from the church go into a community, and there's some barriers. And then, okay, is this for real or this? But when they see a neighbor or a friend or a family member are part of this, are doing it, are doing it, and then are being transformed, then it becomes,
and they can see it, because I see that how, like, for example, Rosario, that is a good example that she brought the whole community, because she came from the pantry. Now she's in the pop-ups, so the whole community respond to her. Not to me too much, because I'm an outsider. So we identify those kind of persons of peace.
Ana Naranjo,
yes, that is another.
Trust. Well, there's trust.
Yes.
Basically, there's trust established with these community leaders. And as you often say, Hermie, everything moves at the speed of trust.
Right.
And so when there's already an established community member who's well trusted, well loved, it's very similar to the church where a pastor, like the sheep will follow the pastor. Often in the community will follow someone who's well trusted and is a known leader within their community.
Yeah. So what are some of the things you look for? To this is the right person that I want to recruit, I want to invest in, and I think you can even start also earlier. But yeah, what are some of the characteristics you look for?
I think part of it is being present, participating in the pantries, whether it's the food distribution or at the pop-ups. And a lot of times people self-identify. They're going to say, as Raul was saying earlier, how can I help? They already have the heart to want to help. And so you want to say yes to that, nurture that, and then just see what type of leader that they are. But definitely look for those with a willing heart to already want to do it. Those enablers, those ones that want to serve their community.
One thing I also see is somebody that is not just thinking about themselves.
Yes.
But they're like, can I invite, or is it okay if I can take this? Someone couldn't come, but can I take this for so-and-so?
So you'll see that, and that's one of the things that I always look for, leadership, which they already have, because they're, you know what, can I take these over there to this family? Like, for example, with the food, with the pop-ups, this person couldn't come, but now let me take these over there. So that takes time, leadership, and all that. So that's one of the things that I look for in order for us to help those kind of leaders that are already in the community. We just have to identify them.
I know Ricardo many times also with having us like, okay, we need help. Anybody that can help with this, can help with that.
Yes.
And he just put it out there.
Yes.
And people raise their hand, oh yeah, I can help with that. Oh yeah, thank you. So it's, and I've also, many times, if we look at starting something, it's like, we can turn that into a spiritual conversation. We feel the Lord has led us to start this. We have this resource available, but for us to do that, we need help. What kind of help do you need?
Yes.
Well, then you kind of like list up the things, and it's really about some of the setting this up, but also describe almost the person of peace. We're looking for the right people. We want to create an environment where it's not just about giving stuff. We want to help people also build community, making friendships, addressing some of the issues here. And we also want to bring some spiritual support here, not changing people's religion, but really bringing God into this community. People then self-identify. And then it's a matter of, okay, meeting them where they're at and including them and cultivating them. Any final tips?
I think similar to what you were sharing about Ricardo's, is creating opportunities. Looking for those that are already self-identifying, looking for those that are thinking of others, those natural or developed leadership skills and abilities. And serving with, I think, is the most important thing. Serving with, not just for.
And I think one of the other tips that I recommend is when you identify, empower them. Right away.
So what does that look like?
Just give them all the tools that you have, for them to be successful, on the day, right away, because you will see 2 months, 3 months later that they're going to do the whole thing, with the community. So just empower them.
That's good.
Trust them.
Trust them.
Responsibilities.
Yes.
Language barriers are a big thing too.
Yes.
And a lot of times we're going to encounter that. So getting the community, getting some of our guests to help you with translation. I know in one of the pantries, they on the side they run a prayer ministry, so like a drive-by prayer. And one of the pastor's wife ran that, but she doesn't speak Spanish. So she recruited this one lady to translate the prayers. And she was like, I learned how to pray by translating prayers. And that's just such a neat way how we have a legitimate need. We don't always look at the outside. A lot of times, the resources is already there.
Yes.
It's already there. So we don't have to feel like we have to do it all. In fact, it's good that you cannot do it all. That creates opportunities for you to ask for help and involve the people, serving them with dignity.
Yeah.
You know, when they said yes, really trust them, equip them, and it's okay to expect. Set the bar. It's like, man, okay, this is can you help us? Can you show up a little earlier? That's also where the relationships take place. I know at one of our pantries, they got one of the community organizers to volunteer. She used to be a Christian. She got really a bad experience.
Yes.
And she said she left the church and hasn't been back like in 20 something years. Mm. And she was surprised. She's like, wow, her opinion of churches didn't change, but she says, this church, I love how they serve. And what was important for her is she saw the pastor serving in the pantry. Then she became a volunteer and just got to know them. Later on, you know, she's been married since, she has kids now. She started to say, I want to start coming back to church.
Wow.
Her whole family gave their lives to Christ. They got baptized. And as a result of her becoming a volunteer.
Yeah.
So it's a great evangelism strategy, disciple-making strategy, but it's just that's how Jesus modeled, you know, for us. So hope you got some great value. Dwight, what are some of the big things that stood out for you, some of the tips here, and how you're going to apply what you've learned at your pop-up? Thank you so much.